Hi, so we are going to paint a beautiful simple sky today with soft clouds. It is a really simple technique, but it gives you the most natural looking sky. So, as usual, I have taped down my paper. I'm using Arches 300 GSM and I'm wetting the surface with clear water using my hockey brush. Wet on wet is the most effective technique to paint soft skies. I'll be using my usual colors, cobalt blue and a bit of phthalo blue to paint this sky. Choosing right colors, right blues to paint your sky is really important. What effects you want to achieve, how much um, different techniques that you are going to use is really important. So, uh, the pigment behavior and understanding it and then going for the particular pigment is important. We'll talk about it more in upcoming videos that I'm going to upload this month. So what I'm doing here is I'm just covering some area with the blue mixture that I have and leaving some area to denote clouds. I'm not underpainting my clouds with any tint this time like we did in the last video with raw sienna. It is just going to be a simple white of the paper. And as I come down, I'm diluting my mixture. So generally, sky is darker at the top, and as you come near to the horizon, it will become lighter in shade. I'm moving around my board a bit to stop the flow of the paint so it wouldn't get too much into the white area. Here I'm using clear brush to soften the edges more. They're already soft, but I want that wispiness there. Remove all of the water from your brush, most of the water. There should be no pigment, there should be no soppiness, otherwise you will flood the paper again and it will create cauliflowers. So controlling the water in your brush is important. In here I'm using a tissue paper to remove water and paint from my brush, and when the brush is dry or damp, I'm going back in and moving back the edges of the clouds a bit. They are already soft, the paper is still wet, so I can disturb these edges without creating too much damage and get the effect I want. I don't want to reach in too much, I don't want to expand the clouds. I just want to get the edges more wispier. It is, we can call it soft kind of lifting. I'm not lifting the paint altogether, but I'm partially moving it. Now the cloud is dry, the paper is dry, and I'm adding a simple element, pine trees, to it. So I want to create a sense that we are looking up at the trees, and I will paint them in that way. I have taken a bit of indigo, it is indigo hue by Van Gogh, and hooker's green plus some sepia to create that darker green mix. You can even use cascade green plus any earth color here. Cascade green by Daniel Smith. When I used to paint pine trees in a really weird fashion, but I have, when I was a beginner, but over the time I have learned to paint them organically. So when I'm painting the tip, when the tree is more detailed, I will be holding my brush towards the tip so that I would have more control over it, over my motions. The brush I'm using today is a bit fluffier than I usually use. Princeton brushes have more point. This one has point too, but somehow it is fluffier and it retains more pigment or water. So I'm to get control over it. I'm trying to hold it at the tip. I have drawn skeletons of the trees, and you can see how they are concave. They are turning inside to create that feeling that you are looking up at the trees. I have arranged them so. So, the more details you want, the closer to the tip you will hold your brush. And when you want looser strokes, you will move your hand away from the tip at the back. There should be some irregularities in the pine that you are painting. It is not a strict, what we can say, a triangular shape. There will be twigs, there will be space somewhere, protruding branches from some place and all. So in this fashion I will complete all the trees. You can twist your brush, you can sometimes use just a tip to give that detailed ending to your foliage. You can use your whole brush to fill out the space in the middle. See how I'm holding it at the very tip because I want those details to be finer. I'm not used to this brush. This is a new brush for me, so I'm taking extra care. And to be clear, this is not a bad brush. It is by Raphael, Precision, number 6. No, I'm sorry, it is not Raphael. I guess it is Art Secret. Yeah, Art Secret. Not a bad brush, but my lack of practice with it is making me more conscious. I don't want to lose control. You can see how the tree shapes are turning in. Lots of noise going around the building today. Vehicles and bikes coming in and out. Sorry for that. I just want to fill in this gap with a little tree. Variation in height is really important. So the white sky and the darker trees create a nice contrast. I'm thinking about filling in that space, the white space which is just above the trees, with something, maybe a bird. So I'm taking in a bit of sepia and indigo to create a darker mix to paint that bird. A bit of ultramarine blue to make it darker. You can paint multiple birds if you want. I think for me, just single one, a bigger bird will be enough. A bird in flight. And I think that's it. The landscape is complete.